All right, another day in the stock market, June 23rd. It is Tuesday, and let's take a look first at the top gainers. Right now, looking at trade ideas, biggest gainers, and we're going into after hours now, after 4. 64% BRN leading the way, LEX 63, TBIO 47%, XRF 41%. Now, remember the last 3 weeks, a month ago, even within that range, we had 3, 4, 500% gainers. Excuse me. It was going crazy. This is like a normal day. You'll have maybe 100%. It's about 10, 15 stocks over 20% here. So it's not extraordinary gains, but there are gainers. BRN, Barnwell Industries. This all started right here in pre-market. Really early. This little blip here was 6:15 a.m. Then you had the big shoot up, and that was as high as 185. Now, when this dropped down, you're looking for support. That's why in the first move, this was a move here, and then a breakout. You could have played above 120, and then a move down here. And you're going to see where is it going to stop here. That's your support. And it really came down here, but the line was sort of like scattered here. So I say like the 140 line, and then you can go here, 134. And then this broke out right above 150. And then see here, this is more of a double top, a little bit above, and you'd cross here in the 5-minute. That is a change of direction. Top of the pattern cross is a change of direction. So this came back down, then this faded. It was a great short. This was a gap and go setup. Most of these stocks, they gap up in the morning, they're gap and goes, or a gap and crap, they call it. So, but this was nice over 150 right here, and you got to 190, almost, what is this, 210, and faded. So it was a nice long and then short. You can see right here on the daily, computer stuff here. See the gap and go. See this color? It's faded in because it didn't, move up like this. See this candle, the open candle? That's what they do. Most of these will do that. When you get a really strong market, and a lot of these longs will last. That was 2 weeks ago. LLEX, this is a penny play. Right here is a little triangle, then shot up. Don't really have interest in stocks under really 50 cents. I like to see if they're going to break the dollar roll. It depends on the setup too, but this one, and then it faded out. TBIO, this was a classic gap up, and then it gapped up and came back down. Never really reclaimed here. This was short all day. Here, a little cup here, but didn't hold. Then again, didn't hold. So this trend line didn't really get over that trend line if you draw one. Now you can play. See, this was given range here. This is a higher dollar stock. This move here, you could have played the long side 22. Depends how you're playing it. It wasn't a great long setup as far as normal long setups. So this just came down. But because it's a higher price stock, on this, even though it's like 22, it size 24. So that's a $2 gain. INO, this was a big winner. This was a great long today. Excuse me. So this was a setup. First big candle. Now you can play this 2 ways. You can put a line here. That's your line. It has to break over. Or you can do a descending trend line here. And this was nice over 17. Again, another one right here over 1841. Then a break over 18. And this right here is a classic hammer candle. And so is this. This isn't a true cross. The cross is real thin middle, but it looks like a cross. Doji. It's not exactly a doji. And this was a reversal. See red to green? This is a classic U shape too. 1, 2, 3, 4 reds in the 5-minute, then up, then right above 17. And see here again, the 13 over 28, my favorite indicators. That's why I only use 13, 20. You can use 9. You can put VWAP in there too, but you don't have a crossover here. It's not a sell. It's a long all day. And here's the hammer candle. That is a key signal too. Hammered out the bottom, didn't go through. It was a fake out. Because you can't have an immediate candle go through if it doesn't cross over. And this broke up, and this got as high as 22.68 and faded down. Now, see right here when it's starting to bend? You can just see on the chart. See here, it's stacking. and then you get this red candle here. You can just see, is it going to go up from here? You don't think so because it's made this run. Most of the time, a great run will be in your chart from your screen, bottom to top. That's for the most part. And then another red candle, and it's held about 20. And see what it's starting to fade here? It's still, this is giving a slower signal, but it's starting to fade on the 5 minute. And then it really hugged sideways. Never really crossed over though. And then it went back up to 21.20. On the 10 minute, it was never a sell. See, it's different time frames. 10 minute, look at this, no sell. You have clearly 13 over 20 EMA. And 15 minute, it's even better. Look at it. And look at the support right there, 20. That's why it held there too. So, wasn't a sell day, but if you get down here, you want to take profit at the highest point. You can at that point because it's a strong gain. That's from almost 1650 to 2150, 22. So INO, this had news too. INO, let me see. COVID-19 impacts. Thinking, what else was the news? Yeah, received 71 million contract from U.S. Department of Defense for COVID-19 vaccine device. Say COVID-19, that'll be the headlines. It's going to be in the headlines for a long time. So that's going to pump these stocks up. And this was a great long. And this had 170 million in volume. And look at the daily chart. Spike. It kept putting in higher lows though. Look at this. Right up that line. So keep this on watch again. FFHL, Fuji Films. This is a quick pump. Had to move pre-market. Got the 850 back down. Really strong descending triangle. It's spiked up. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, green. And then we put in this massive red, then down. But this move is 575 to almost 975.10. And then this faded down. And I think this was a total pump here. 3.27 million. Let me see if there's news. Earnings today. Earnings conference 9 a.m. It doesn't even matter. This is a low float, and it's definitely pumped, and then they faded it. XRF, China Finance Limited. This is another China play, which you never trust them. But this started putting green candles, and you had 13 EMA crossing over 20 EMA. And then 275 broke all the way up to 475, 476, 477, and then faded down. And look where the support was, right at that 20 EMA 350 line, and then faded down again. Now, if you get it at 10 minute, it's really wide. So you know the wider the 13 and 20 EMA, it's going to be a stronger move up high. And this put in the double top at about 425. See it fade here. So you can see if you're on the 10, you're like, okay, this is a high wick, you're watching it. You can let it come in. You know, you let it come in if you want to play that way as far as 325. But you're the profit, you're going to lose $1 profit here. And then it'll bounce. This faded right here. As soon as you see this, and on the 15 minute, you have the high wick shooting star, then it's starting to fade right here. So a lot of times you can just see, when you see these charts over and over, you can really tell what's going to happen here. So just move up, and look at that, 5 minute. You really got to give it the 350 because that was the last support. On this candle though, so if you got in 275 to 475, it's a $2 gain. On a stock this small, you want to take that gain. So it depends on the stock too. So $2 gain on a small stock, you might as well take that too. If you want to let it come in and try for more, but that's so far away that came down, all these red candles. And the bounce a lot of times will be lower. You get like this, and that's what it did, lower. So it depends on your preference, your time frame. But a $2 gain is always great to get. CYCN, this is another 13 over 20 play. 10 a.m. This didn't have great volume though. Say it 16,000, but it was a nice long all day. Ship penny stock. He played a pennies, 21 cents. This moved all the way to 33. That's a really good gain for a penny stock. U1, this was a tough stock to trade. You had pre-market, it's pretty scattered, faded down, bounced up to 29 and came all the way down and got to 22.50. See that fade? Right here, if you're playing that open, that is tough, at least in the 5 minute. You have to get a lower time frame. Then it really faded on this. So on the daily, you can see another, all the days it went down are on low volume days. See the higher days are up days, higher volume. So this is going to be all over the place. You have 13 over 20 EMA. It's pretty far away from it though. So this has more room. This is going to be a wide range for a while. ANDA, no interest in that. SPI, this was over like 115. Made nice with the 116 and faded. It's not a bad over dollar stock. EVGN, this was over 110. Went as high as 140, then faded down. Look for the support, 120. So that was a double bottom support there. That wasn't bad. HEPA. You have a triangle right here, ascending triangle. And look at this right here. And then we exploded off today, 6.9 million. And this was a fader from March, pharmaceutical play. The daily chart's showing a tremendous uptrend now. But this didn't hold. It was all pre-market, and then it just faded it down. A little bounce here, but you want better plays. You want to look for maybe pre-market like this, then it starts going up. This is a tougher play when they pop it pre-market. See that? Here's GNUS. GNUS is very oversold here, 295. This could pop up. You have support right here, 250. And look at this, you have 275, all the way to 315. This was a nice move. I like the daily here. It's very oversold. You have good volume today, 99 million. LTRPA, Liberty TripAdvisor Holdings. So you have bounce, 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 and this could bounce again. Very oversold here. It's at 1075 on stochastics. That's a oscillator that shows, I believe it's momentum. And this is a good to use when the trend is up. See this? Very oversold here. 80 is overbought, 20 is oversold. This has good potential to go back north or a nice swing. P10. Here's a DLNG. 2.5 million. This thing's been a rocket since April. Here's Workhorse, WK, HS. Big pop up, 750. Look at it. This is a stair step volume. See that? When you have the volume here going up like that, 26 million, that is a strong daily chart. When you have the volume going up and up, that is exactly what you want. STIM. Computer's frozen here. This was very good over 230. Look at this. Draw a line. You can make it a little bit higher. So when you have a high of the day like this, and that's why you don't want to jump in right away on a play. You want a pattern to form. So this is forming a ascending triangle. When you see this, these wicks, you know it's trying to shoot up. It's trying, but they're pushing it down. They're across here. Then look at this support. This is a classic 13 EMA support. Look at it. Bounce right off it, and then you're at 220, and then it rides up. And then you form a double top, and it rides back down. So you can play that both ways there. NKLAW, this is the warrant for Nikola Corporation, the electric vehicle. And this was right at, first pop-up was near 37, bounced to 36, and look at that. Then we took off to 40. This was a great play. I don't know why the stock is in here. It should be NKLA, I think. I don't know why it's on the gainers list. I have to look. That was a great run. Y10. These plays are completely momentum and fast. Look at this on the 5 minute. 1, 2, 3, 4 big candles, and that was it. So you have to jump in fast when you see that. Pen. Look at this. You don't have to draw the line. Your line's right here on the chart sometimes. 33, there it is from yesterday, pre-market, and then it took off. And there's your cross. So this is a classic pattern, momentum, and longs taking over for the day. So you have over 33, right up. Cross here was a fake out. And then because the next, well, you can give it to a next candle. Next candle was green. And then red, it's found support at 35.50. And then look where the cross is, top of the pattern here. This was the top two, but you have to determine what the next move is. This was a red candle and a green, and you're watching, okay. Then you see it's starting to fade here. You can get out, 36.44. Then it did find support here, came all the way back and bounced again. But when you have a move here, 33 to 36, you get $3 move. It could bounce higher again, but if you're getting $1 to $3 on any move, you're going to make good money. You know what I mean? 1,200 shares can be 1,200, 2,000, what, $4,000, even $600 move, 600 times 2, you have 1,800. That's great for a day. So always in early, and that is the key. LE is a long play. Plug broke up and faded. JMIA, and this was a long right over 580, then went to 670, then faded down. But this was a great long, and this daily chart is actually pretty strong. See, it broke out of this wedge, this channel. Ever since April, this has been going up. So it's been quite a run. LLNW Limelight Networks, excuse me. This was nice right over 6. Little fade back here, then came back down. But this was 6 to 80. It's an 80-cent move. Let's see what else we got here. KC, this is a recent IPO. This was right over 29, and then got to as high as 31.50. Here's Codex coming back in style here. Codex. And you have here, so you have here on Codex that big move in March, then came back down hard and back up in May. And then it never got too far low on the chart exactly. So it never broke really to support. See, the lows were getting higher right here, and it kept moving up. So a lot of times they're fake outs. These moves, you're like, oh, it's going down, but actually you see it held support. That's why trend lines are important. Trend lines aren't the be all to end all, but they're very strong if it's a strong support line. See, once it starts to develop here, and then you have a new line, and then that's what you're going by. So you can see that, and it started to break up. So this is a chance to go up higher now. Here's gold. This is airlines. And this had to move from May. That's where all the craziness, all the stocks were popping like crazy. And then it faded back. And like we said, look where it's holding support. The 20 EMA, it held right here. This is still like in this fade going down. Hasn't turned up. But it's already showing signs it's breaking this trend line. So this is looking nice long. Very nice long on gold. I sort of like this here. It's going down, down. So your divergence going this way, which is actually still bearish, but it's going up on the chart. It's bullish. So we should break up. Tour. This is trying to get over 125. I like the volume here. Look at the updates. Very strong volume on the updates. Look for the break at 125 on that. CMRA, 3.9 million. Stock was as high as like 11 almost, 10.50. This is showing great strength too. If this can get over 6 now, this has great potential for longs. Here, CJJD China drugstores. This is a big gap to 250. Good volume here. All the days that were up are pretty much good volume, except on the gap down. So this is interesting. 5 minutes moving up after hours. RRGB. This is Red Robin. Take a look at this here. So let me get rid of this trend line. So we actually have 2 lines, usually like 3, but this dropped back and really changed the course of this chart here. Very oversold. We're at 639. That's extreme. Last time was this one, the drop off, and this was down towards like 2. So it's not going to get much lower than that. Put in a green candle, very bullish. And if you draw a trend line this way, let me draw this line because this is a new line now. Draw a line here. So we had the first move up, and that's where your next line is. Then it came back. So this is room up to, this could get to 38.2 retracement, 17. So it looks like a very good long, very oversold here. It's interesting. MHK, 3.4 million, very oversold, 20.89, has this gap. I like this. This could test 115 before not long. Novin still in this channel down, trying to break up. Very oversold. Watch for it, 75-cent break. Eat. This is a Brinker International. This is another one. Look at this. See here, the dip down. Tried to come up here. That was a false breakout. Has to run through the cycle. Sometimes it'll go up. Depends on the move. See this? Up, down. This was up and sideways and up. This was a move down. Tried to go up, came back down. And see, it found the trend line. You have 1, 2, a third trend line right here. We're at 15, 16, very oversold. I like this to move back up. If the market gets on a tear again, this is going to do this, you know, up or, so this is looking very strong long. Here's Azul. This is Airlines. It says nice support here. This is showing divergence right here. On stochastics, you're going down. You stop trying to come up now. We might get one day where it just bounces up. And this has good potential for longs too. Here's DENN. I like this. This is even better. This one's way oversold. 1431. Excuse me, on stochastics. This is great support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. And we put in a great candle day, 2.5 million. And look at the days on this too. The volume on the up days is much stronger than down days. Look at this, lower, higher, sort of in between here, higher though, lower, higher, higher. This is higher, and that's higher. So all the down days, the shorts are gonna get their little move, you know what I mean? But the up days are much stronger. And that's because the stock, when the stock was 22 and fell to 5, the potential is here for the upside in the market. The market's in an uptrend. That's the whole thing. When the market's in an uptrend, you're going with the trend. If it was here and we kept going down, like stair-stepping down, that would be different. This was just a wash down. So this is potential to 12, 13, 14. We'll see if we get up to the high again of near 15. I love that, DENN. LKCO. It's a good dollar roll. Watch, any day could be a pop. APT 1750. It's kind of overbought here. Still potential maybe. Here is NNVC. And this had a big move January, February. See the stock's all over the place, all kinds of gaps and moves, but the low keeps getting higher. This might be in for another move up here, so watch that for a long. NVTA, this put in a lot of good days here, the last 3 days. This was a really good long over 27.25, near 30. SNES. This could pop maybe towards 4 again. We'll see. But the up days buying is very strong. Here's Trip. Here's another one. Bounce from the bottom up. Look at this candle here, right at 15, and a huge move at a 26 mark here. That was the when all the stocks were popping. That was the hottest it's been. And we dropped all the way down here. Now we're trying to work our way back up. This is at 1444 on stochastic, so I love this. You always want to get a stock here, not here. Now, stock can stay overbought. Like, let me look at an example here. This doesn't really have it. Sometimes they'll stay. See this though, the line will stay. This almost it stayed above. So, but down here is completely oversold. That means they pushed it too far and it's going to bounce. You can play this 20 to 80. Hold this till it gets back to 80. Now it might take a week. It might take a few days. It might take a month. So we'll see how that is for a swing. But I love that long one. Trip. Here's Surf. This is another one. Putting in nice on the lows, keep getting higher. So lower highs. And let me see, the high is getting lower, lower, then it bounced here. So that's why, excuse me, not lower high, excuse me, the low is getting higher. So right here, low, higher, higher, lower, lower highs. So this keeps getting up and up. NCSM, just tried to bounce to 75, maybe a dollar roll here, good volume. GLBS, this is gap down, it has a big gap now. This might roll to 65 cents before long. Look at some other stocks here. Solo. This is forming that, you know, like you first move up, then you bounce, then the bounce is going to be lower and lower, then eventually you're going to squeeze. You should squeeze up. TRQ. See what else we got here. Play, Dave and Buster's. This could slide up and bounce. I think that's going to happen. iHeartMedia, IHRT. This is forming a triangle. Very oversold here. This could bounce up. I think we will bounce here. There's a nice little gainer possible. See, Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers is forming a nice little ascending triangle breakout maybe. Yeah, the 4 days down here, look at it, held support again, trend line 1, 2, 3, 4, and look at that. We could come out of this strong, watch for that. And then you have here USFD. This had to move up too. On that last day was June 8th and bounced down. Sort of choppy on this one, sideways, but looks like 1252, very oversold. That's exactly where you want to be when you buy. Very oversold. As long as it ain't in a downtrend. You don't want to stock in a downtrend. You want to stock like this, and it's oversold. Because look where it went. This went 42 all the way to like 8. This was a complete like crash, you know, flash crash, anything you want to call it. Total chaos downtrend. That's where you don't see. That's where it's oversold. It's going to stay until that moves over and it starts coming out. But everything's where it's at on the chart. This is starting to come up now. See it? Even though it's choppy, we're going here, we're rolling, but look at that. So this is great potential for long too. What else we got here? Let's take a look at, let's see some airlines. Hawaiian Holdings. We had the big move up here. See if it's down and tried to go up and down. It's at 704. Very oversold. Hasn't been this oversold since the downtrend. So I said all the way down. I love this to come back down and it's going to come back up again. Say you're low here. Can't go much lower. It's very oversold. It's not going to stay flat here. I doubt it. Even if it came back here, it's going to bounce up here. So that's on that. American Airlines, not doing as well here. This is going down. This still has more room to go down. What's Delta? Delta DAL. Computer's frozen. Let's see if we can get it back here. Let me disconnect, see if we can get this back on. Connect. Okay, when it does this, it says it's scanning. It's definitely frozen here. I don't know what the problem is here. Come on. Here we are. All right, here's Delta. And this is still in the trend. I think we're going to go a little bit lower in this and bounce up. But this is showing other signs. It's holding right now in this little triangle here. So we'll see if that can bounce. We said Azul. We talked about that, Azul. Southwest. This is another one. It's getting very close here to being a pop. And the trend is up. And that's what I'm going with right now, unless the market has some sort of weird crash. And what's the other airlines here? UAL. Here's Save. This still has more room to the downside. I'd like this to go under 20. JetBlue. This one's 1620. I like this more. Really formed a nice little candle here. There's gold. Gold's already turning out. That's a nice candle for gold. ALK. I like this even more. This is Alaska Airline Group. Big move up near 50, then all the way down. Look how support is holding at 35.22. And this is at 864 in a stochastic. It's very oversold. Last time, look what we had here. Then to bounce up. I think we come down here, and this is going to start going up. Now, this is the issue with a lot of these stocks here. So you had the move down here in March, and then we're sideways, then we're bouncing. This was the last huge bounce. This was, stocks were going crazy. Now we have a new trend line. Now, if this comes up, will it break this, or is there a new trend line now? 40. Are we making lower highs like here, here, here? That wouldn't be good. That means the market's not exactly as strong as you think, because these stocks need to go up and, eventually get back to their highs. We'll see. All right, that's it. Let's look at the cruises and CLH. This is looking better here. We're getting very oversold, 1272. So let's see what that does. RCL, it's another one, very oversold at 9.16. Royal Caribbean, what's the other? Carnival. CCL. This is at 1307. So these are getting ready for a bounce here. They're getting very oversold, pushed a little bit too far. Some oil, OKE. Really choppy here, back and forth. Oxy. See the lines here, we're not really going up or down. We're sort of sideways, no direction really on some of these oil plays. Apache. Sideways, fading down. So let's look at the REITs. MFA. Still in the downtrend here, stochastic. See this? 20. I like this to get a little bit lower, bounce this trend line and come up on that. Call. This is getting really oversold on Hall. IVR. This is at 26.96. They're slanting down, but one big move and they're going to start coming up here. So we'll see with that. All right, let's take a look at the SPY. Where did SPY finish today? SPY was up. Dow Jones was up 131, S&P 1343, NASDAQ 7489, small caps up 9. VIX fell to 3137. Now, during the last night, it came out, said the China deal was off. Navarro said that. Trump's, what do you call it, works in the White House. And he was completely, said it was wrong. That's not what he meant. And stocks were like this. They're getting like 400 down, and we bounced up today. So he threw everything off, but apparently it wasn't true. Commodities, gold, 1785. Silver, 1810. Oil, 4019. So the SPY here, look at this. See, we're down here. We didn't make the full run under 20. I wish this was under 20. We're sort of flat, but it looks like we're doing this. See this white? We're trying to curl right here and go up. I think we will test this 323. It looks like the fade is over for the downside right here. Here, doesn't look like we may come back down to here a little bit. 308, but the NASDAQ's been a beast. Formed a high cross, which isn't good. 1031, it's really high up here. Can't get much more oversold than that. That's like danger area. I wouldn't want to buy up there, that's for sure. And we have the Dow Jones. The move down here, the same thing. It's sort of sideways. It's trying to want to cross up here. You have a cross here. So a lot of indecision still. Yeah, not really an uptrend. It's staying above the 20 EMA, so we'll see. Oil. Here's oil. This is a total reverse head and shoulders. You have shoulder, shoulder, head, like a double head. And then we're right up here, and we still have that gap to fill, about 41.26. And it's been long ever since. We crossed over. Where do we cross over? Right here, about May 8th. And then we're going up, and then I think we keep going here. We'll see what happens with that. TNA. This is a trend line down. This is another one that's sort of flat here. This touched lower than 20, which is a good sign. This might come up here. I think we're going to get to 30. Come here, do something here, and then come back up to 35 to test this. The trend is still up. TNA nail. Nail looks like it wants to cross over up. 27.75. The line here. So I'd watch for the crossover now. DIN, Dine Brands, this is restaurants. This is even better. You have trend line, trend line. Look at how it is held right here, a little bit below. If you put, try to connect these is best. They don't exactly connect, but these connect, this connects, and you have a fresh green candle. And look at this here. The move here, nope, fade it. This is at a 7.40 on stochastics. That's extreme oversold, extreme. This was 65. This is like a $20 move down. So anyone caught up here, they're all caught. Same with this, and then this took for a ride. So that's looking very strong. DFEN, 1336. This needs to hold here, really, 13, or else it's going below this 1277 line. Still not showing signs of doing anything real. DFEN, anything good there? So that is it for that. Look at gold. Well, gold's 1785, so that's still, gold's still looking strong. So the market's still, you know, uptrend here. We still need to fill this gap. I think we're going to fill it. I think we're going to either test this, maybe come up, double top, and then bounce back down. We'll see here. I don't think this is dropping down. There's no signs of that at this point. On the weekly, we did cross over negative here. We'll see on that. But we did have a bullish crossover. Look at this in the weekly. See, 20 is over 13. Remember I said that? And then we have 13 over 20 right here. So it just crossed in June here, which is very bullish. See that support? That's why this came down, and look where it touched. Nothing's a coincidence. Always EMAs, 13, 20. I mean, that's what these people go by on Wall Street. They're looking at this too. They're looking at the same things. Looking at Fibonacci retracement, looking at 13 EMAs, 20 EMAs. They can see this right here. And so this is very bullish. But we may do this test. We might chop around for a bit and then we go back up. We'll see. Or we're getting very oversold here. Maybe we're going to have a move down eventually. We did that back. You look back in January 18, look how high we were and crashed down. October, January crashed down. And then we had blips here through 2019. See this? Down, down. When you're up here, you can look. When you're up, what's the other saying? You can only go down from being up. So we're right here. This was a long move up from like October to January, February 2020 for the crash March. So we'll see what this does. This might stay up for a while, or this could come back. Maybe it comes back halfway down here. A lot to be determined here, but the one thing I'm noticing here, this is the weekly. This could be a head, shoulder, or a shoulder, and then comes back down. Because right now, this is the high, and you have a lower high. See this? High, lower high. Maybe it tries to come up and comes back down. And once you see that, if this trend line is strong and this move here can't get above it, then we're putting in lower highs, which is not good. So we'll see that on the SPY. So, but short term, it looks like things are very oversold. We might get a nice bounce in some of these airlines, some of these REITs, the restaurant stocks, a few ETFs. We will see. So, and some good moves today. Not, great moves, but there's certainly some gainers. And one of the best ones today was, where is it at here? INO, that was a nice gain. Higher price stock that really put in a nice long, and all day long. So, all right, that's it. Please subscribe to the channel. And that is it for today. Please like, subscribe, and we'll be back tomorrow. Peace.